Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of F1 Podcast. It's been a while. Pep and I are glad to be back in front of you now. I'm sure you'd agree, mate.
Absolutely.
And a special thanks to all of our new subscribers, which we've had join our little band of merry men over the last week or so. It's great to have your support. Pep, we've been off air for a little while, but a lot has gone on in the time that we've been off, mate. In particular, our chat with our mates at Codemasters, but as you know, Formula One never stops, and we've also got some other stuff to talk about too.
Yeah, we've got heaps of videos to do today, so stay tuned for lots of videos this week. But the first one we're going to do is about Codemasters, and Max and I thought we'd give you a little bit of background about what happened. And I guess it started a couple of months ago, mate. We had an email from Codemasters, just saying to us that they enjoyed our videos and liked watching our channel. And as it turns out, that video was from the chief game designer, Steve Hood, and I know that Steve won't mind me mentioning his name. He's
he better not mind.
No, he won't mind. T4RG4 on Twitter, and he's mentioned us on Twitter, mate, so I know he won't mind about that. And we had a couple of emails back and forth with him, and then, it's about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now, we asked Steve, saying we want to get more involved and we want to do more with you guys, and so he put us in contact with the PR and marketing department, and we had a Skype call with Codemasters.
We did. We Skyped with Cody,
which was awesome. It was really good to do that, Max. We both really enjoyed it. So what we're going to do in this video is talk a little bit about our conversation with them, and talk a little bit about what's coming up with the Codemasters games, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's kick things off. I've got a few notes here, mate, and I guess the first thing is that Codemasters have released 2 developer diaries now, a general one, and then just last week they released one on handling. And there's going to be more of those developer diaries. There's going to be about 6 in total between now and July.
So we're up to the second one at the moment.
Yeah,
right?
and there's 4 to come. Now this list might change, but we spoke to them about weather, pits and garage, cars and tracks and career modes and things like that. So what they're doing is they're releasing a developer diary with a little bit more information about certain parts of the game. So we're going to be talking a little bit about our conversation with them, and I guess the first thing that we talked about was those developer diaries, and Cody's are going to give us an exclusive on the next developer diary. So they're going to send us that video. We're going to upload it onto YouTube, and then a couple of days later it will be available on IGN and the other F1 websites, mate. So we're pretty stoked about that.
Very stoked, mate. Exclusive rights to the upcoming video. It's going to be great. It's going to be pushed out through F1 Podcast. So I hope you all enjoy it as much as we're going to.
Yeah, and our conversation with them really was how, the question that we asked them was, how's things going with the game? And the first thing I've got written here on my notes, mate, is that they're really happy with the game, how it's tracking so far. It's looking great. The 2010 cars are being built as we speak, and they are, really, really proud of the handling and the weather effects and what's happening with the game.
Yeah, and a lot of you have spoken in the past about when we've put up a Codemasters snapshot of videos. They're the 2009 cars. You've got to remember, of course they are. They haven't released anything with 2010 livery or the 2010 cars at the moment. That is coming, of course. But just keep your powder dry. We're aware that they're the 2009 cars and the like, but the game is all going to be 2010 cars without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. The videos that they've released so far have been pre-alpha, and they're just moving into the alpha stage now. And then when they move into the beta stage, they'll have the 2010 cars. And one of the things that we were talking to them is about the fact that they have a cut-off for these things. I mean, obviously they're developing this game and they could develop it forever if we let them, but we're not going to let them do that, mate.
No, definitely not.
So they've got a cut-off. A classic example is team liveries and things like that. If, Sauber signed a sponsor, any sponsor, mate, a sponsor, then they'll need to submit that to Codemasters and get that into the game by a certain time, and when that cut-off happens, then unfortunately it won't be in the game. So you know, it's for everything. It's for the weather, the car, the career modes, the liveries, the tracks, everything. There's a cut-off,
Yep.
and there's a sign-off, and once that time passes, then you know, Codemasters then have to move on with the next development stage.
You're 100% right. No matter what the teams do after this cut-off point, you know, it won't be in the game. They do have to draw the line somewhere, and you know, they're keeping it as long as they possibly can, of course. But it does get to the stage where, you know, we've got to build this game and we've got to work with what we've got. So here's our clear delineation point. We're stopping from here. Anyone changes anything after that date, it won't be included in the game this year. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think we've got to be mindful of that as well.
And so far, you know, the developer diaries that they've released, I've been really impressed with the game footage and what they're doing. As Max said earlier, we're looking at 2009 games in the cars in this video. But in terms of how the game looks, I think
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's been very, very
It looks
impressive.
sensational so far.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with what I've seen, and I'm sure that most of you would agree with me. You know, like anything, when you go out into a public forum, you open yourself up to criticism and all that sort of thing. But gee whiz, I think you'd be hard pressed not to enjoy what you've seen from Cody's at the moment. It looks sensational.
Yeah, one of you guys made a comment, and there's been lots of things on the forum as well about the colour of the video, the sort of brownness of the brown tinge, and there's a thing on the forum as well about the hue and the bloom and the colour and
The
things
hue
like
pet.
Yeah, and that's something that's easily fixed, and I think personally, this isn't from our conversation with Codemasters, but personally, I think that a lot of the F1 games previously have been a little bit too clean, a little bit too, not pretty, but you know, you need to get that gritty kind of look to the, you know, the gameplay, and you know, I'm confident that they will fix that, and that you know, you won't have that sort of situation with the colours.
One can only hope.
Yeah, another thing that we talked about was the weather effects, and this is another thing that Codemasters are really, really proud of. And what we're talking about here is, you know, obviously not just when it rains, but what happens to the circuit when it rains in terms of the changes in the circuit, both online and offline, and if it stops raining, then a drying line and things like that. And this is things that haven't really been done to any great degree in any F1 game previously.
I love what they've done with this. I think this is fantastic. Puddles on the circuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that. So you could aquaplane off. Little things like that we haven't really seen in an F1 game before.
Yeah, more grip here, less grip there. You know, different changes to the circuit, and this is really, really impressive. And you can tell from speaking to them, mate, that they're really proud of what they've done, not only with the handling, but also with the weather effects. And I think
they're genuinely excited about how they've got this working, which is, you know, from us speaking to them, for the mate of ours at Codemasters to turn around and say this is something we're genuinely happy about, we're really excited about, is a big thing, I guess, because as we've mentioned in past Codemasters videos, these guys are genuine Formula One fans.
Yeah.
They're not just game designers who've come in and said, oh yeah, well, we've got to build a Formula One game, how do we go about it? These guys are fans, and they're genuinely excited, in particular about the weather effects that they've got, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think that this weather is going to be something that we haven't seen in F1 games before, not only the handling but also the weather as well. So I can't wait for that, mate. We talked a little bit about Ant Davidson.
Pep's favourite mate. I thought I was his best mate. Apparently not. It's Ant.
Yeah, but the guy we're talking about, talking to at Codemasters, was saying that, you know, it's great that they can pick up the phone and call Ant about absolutely anything.
And get him in there, in particular.
Yeah, bounce ideas off him, get ideas from Ant, and also just, you know, talk to him about what it is to be sitting in an F1 car, what it's like. Not just handling, but the whole thing. And this is, again, something that we haven't seen before, where an F1 gaming developer has employed someone like Ant to give that feedback. And apparently Ant is a huge F1 gamer. He loves playing F1 sims and
Which
games.
Is great. He's just like the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. So they were really, really praising Ant and saying what a great job he's doing in terms of helping them develop the game, and things like that are invaluable, mate.
Oh, totally agree.